producer Andrew Kreisberg. Executive producer Mark Guggenheim. Yeah, what are we doing? Mr. Paul Blackthorne. John Barrowman. The lovely Miss Joan Howard. Stephen Unnell. Colton Haynes. David Ramsey and his giant arms. And executive producer Greg Berlanti. All right. First off, let's give these guys a round of applause for last season. How amazing was that year? Before we get to any other questions about anything, I just need to throw this out. Was that Felicity bloody on a slab? What have you done?
She got a little boo-boo.
It's just a paper cut. Emily could not make it today. She's filming. So don't read into the bloody slab scene. All right, so where to begin? You guys have given out so much information before this panel already. We've seen guest casts. We've seen great leather outfits with like only one other person could pull off. So congratulating you. Do you guys find yourselves, for the producers, when you started with season 2, did you find yourselves kind of altering any storylines, or was this whole season designed from the beginning?
Season 2?
Yeah.
Truthfully, in the beginning of season 2, we were sort of terrified. It was actually the hardest thing I've ever had to write because, you know, we had so much great success in season 1. We were just all terrified that we were gonna like be one of those shows that was like, oh yeah, they had a great first year and then, you know, fizzled out. So there was we had a lot of pressure on ourselves but you know, so many of the things we did were, again, things that we had discussed from the pilot. I mean, you know, when we made the pilot, 2 of our biggest ideas was that Sarah wasn't dead and that at the end of season 2, Oliver would wake up in Hong Kong. And, you know, those were 2 things that we managed to get to in season 2 that were things that we just discussed casually amongst Greg, Mark, and myself. So it was really exciting to have had enough success to be able to get to that stuff.
What about getting John back? Was that like just a wish list thing?
It's funny because, you know, as you can see, I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and I knew John would understand because it's kind of happened with Captain Jack, that like he was on and we said, so you have to go away for a little bit so you can come back again even better. And John's like, yeah, I understand that. I've done that once before. I'm happy to do it again, thank God. And you know, we were always planning leading up to John being a regular in season 3.
Okay, so, and Mark, you showed me something backstage that you guys already have season 3 mapped out.
Yeah, actually we have a huge set of corkboards. Here, I'll show it to you. Yeah, that's it.
So this is going to be all the spoilers you're going to get this season. So
yeah, basically it's the whole season. As soon as my phone goes, I'll show you. Yeah, basically, that's it.
See, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw shower scene on one of those cards, right?
What?
Shower scene?
I have no comment on that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you say shower scene?
Yes.
There are a few.
You guys need a second? Do you guys need a second? All right, so you have season 3 mapped out. You killed us with that finale, but you also ended on a happy ending. Team Arrow was in a good place. I'm guessing from that trailer that does not stay that way for long.
No, I mean, we thought that with you know, after ending season 1 on such a dour note with Tommy dying and the city in flames, that what could we do that would surprise people in season 2? And we thought the thing we could do that would really shock people was to give them a happy ending. But so much of season 3 is about, you know, what price victory. And, you know, at the beginning of the season, everyone is sort of enjoying the peace that they have found. And as Mark always says, everything's coming up arrow. And you know, as Joss Whedon has always said, you know, the minute you give one of your characters happiness, you have to yank it away from them. So,
and you realize that there are now like 47,000 Tumblrs that have Oliver Queen gets a happy ending. So clearly, I'm trying to
And it wasn't caused by Malcolm Merlin either.
It took a while. So one of the big things everyone wants to talk about is this first date. We'll get to that in a second. I want to know, Steven, season 3 is Ollie, you know, completely embracing his hero side. And in a way, you have been the hero of this show. You have stepped forward with social media and reaching out to the fans and really just being like so accessible. I feel like in the same way that Ollie has not failed his city, you have not failed this show.
Oh,
Do you feel as responsible for this show as Ollie feels for Starling City?
oh yeah, for sure. It's if anything, you know, there were points in the first couple of seasons where maybe it was a little bit more important to me than it should have been. And you know, but look, I waited my entire life for an opportunity like this, and to see the way that the fans have reacted. I remember sitting in this hall, or in this where are we? Are we in a hall or a ballroom? Thank you. I remember sitting in this ballroom and making a promise to the people that were here that we were going to work really hard, and that the show wasn't going to suck. And that, I mean, that's. It sounds simple, but that's what drives us every day.
Well, I have to say, I mean, you know, it's very clear that a lot of the marketing, a lot of the stuff is, yeah, you've got an okay body.
You realize those are
It's better. You know, community cast. No. But I have to say, this was probably some of your strongest dramatic work ever. The stuff you did this season, especially with Moira in her press conference and following her death, this was like next level, Steven.
Thank you.
Were you like working with these guys to say like, let's take this guy to a deeper level?
No, I don't write the show. I let those guys write the show. But I mean, for me, we talk season by season, but I always think of it like we are shooting our 48th episode right now, and we're always trying to make 48 better than 47 and 47 better than 46. And there were a couple of scenes in season 2, that press conference scene. There was I thought a wonderful scene in the hallway between Laurel and I, and all the dramatic stuff surrounding Moira's death. I crave those opportunities, and I was really grateful. So when they present themselves, I try to be ready.
Nice. And Colton Haynes. You always have to build in time for the screens. So Colton and Willa, you guys had some amazing stuff, especially at the end of the season this year. Really touching right before you went to the dark side, Willa. These guys, were you guys like just chomping at the bit to get these two together and like had these great emotional scenes?
I mean, we kind of hit it off from the beginning. Right? Our first day, my first day on the show, I got to work with Willa, and we had this really, really fun.
It was one of our first scenes was actually our kiss scene, which was pretty hilarious. It was one of my favorite things that we got to shoot together in near. Well, hey guys, I mean, come on, how could it not be? Look at Colton.
They actually told us to do mouth to mouth.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite stories to tell, actually.
I'm bad at telling the story, but.
Our first kiss scene, our director asked us to do more kissy. That's the way he worded it. And then so Colton and I were just like, okay. And he's like, wait, no, can you just do like more mouth to like
mouth to mouth is what he said.
Mouths.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed his nose and just breathed straight into it. I thought that was kind of like what he asked for. He asked for a mouth to mouth. So.
She has amazing breath, so.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's great.
It brought me to life.
And so Willa, is daughter like father? Have we found out yet?
I mean, I was just having this conversation. Thea is going through something pretty crazy right now. And all I can say is that I have been hitting the gym a little bit. And I think that's like really the only thing I'm allowed to be hinting towards because, I mean, these guns are just so amazing. Have you?
And how has it been taking her from like druggy prep school dropout to supervillain love child?
She's definitely made a big change, I'll say that. There's no more vertigo dancing around on tabletops for Thea. I think she's going to be not necessarily a good put-together girl, but a different girl. Definitely a different girl. The Thea that you guys saw in season 1 and season 2 is not the girl that's coming back in season 3.
Yes. Did you keep the pants from the finale? Did you keep those leggings from the finale?
Of course I did. And that trench coat, are you kidding me? This thing was amazing.
All right, so David, fatherhood, coming to dig. To dig town.
Daddy Diggle.
Hashtag Daddy Diggle.
How is fatherhood going to change not just the man, but also his place on Team Arrow? It looks like somebody doesn't want him on the front lines anymore.
It's a very, very good question. A lot of dramatic tension. Because, yeah, he's a child and the stakes get higher. Does he stay with the team? Does he leave?
By the way, the scene that you guys saw in the preview where David is yelling at me and whipping his massive arms, it was almost impossible not to flinch.
Yeah, but no, it's just a great. I mean, it was just a great story point to make Diggle a father. I think the stakes have gotten a lot higher.
Right. All right. So Elicity is a situation that we're going to talk to in a little bit later. So, John, you are back. First, I need to ask your co-stars, what is the raunchiest thing he has done on set so far?
If you say anything, I'll kill you all.
So it must have been good. What do you know about what Mr. Merlin is up to now?
Well, I was actually just saying to Andrew as we were talking, and he said, you know, have you read the scripts? And I literally just flew in yesterday from London, and I finished, which I must say, the producers have been really, really wonderful in allowing me to finish the stuff up that I've had to do in the UK, plus a couple of things I have to go that were pre-contractual. So thank you very much. But I have yet to read what I'm about to do. So I'm sitting here not knowing like you're knowing, and these guys are saying, have you just seen this? Have you seen this? And I'm like, no, shut up. I don't want to know because tonight I'm going to be in my hotel room going, no way! Are you kidding? I can't wait. I really can't wait, and that's part of the excitement about episodic television for me, is almost not knowing what you're going to do until that script comes out. Because then it's that's the thrill of doing it, is trying to figure out how you do it, but also how you make it really believable for you guys, and also it just makes it much more fun because it's more spontaneous that way.
All right. Paul?
Hello, sir.
I'm assuming he survived. Whatever the chest pains, was it just gas?
It was a dodgy takeaway that night. Yeah, that was definitely an issue. Those chest pains, well, they brought me down, didn't they? But I appear to be on this panel, so I don't know. What do you think?
We have to talk afterwards.
The only problem with that is all my hair fell out as a result of this heart situation. But
Well, now you're covering it with, it looks like a captain's hat?
it does look like a captain's hat.
This man has had the craziest police career.
I know, it's been up and down.
That shot was very heroic in that clip.
I directed it
Can you
myself.
tell us anything about what he's doing?
Sorry?
Can you tell us anything about what he's doing?
Well, he's standing there with a cane and a lovely hat.
By the way, Paul, you can stop with your British accent now.
Yeah.
Can I go back to how I normally talk now? No, I'm carrying on with the British accent.
Paul, Quentin's kind of become like the Commissioner Gordon of Starling City.
Well, you said it, not me.
Any chance of us seeing him, this is for the producers, working with the CSIs of Central City?
With the what?
The CSI team of Central City.
Well, that is an interesting question. I'd like to direct that to our producers on the right-hand side. That'd be a nice place to go to, right?
Well, we previously announced that episode 108 of The Flash and 308 of Arrow are going to be a 2-hour crossover event. Which I guess I think is a good idea.
I don't think they want this to happen.
No. So we'll be seeing people from both shows crossing over. So it's everyone will get a little taste of each other. That sounded.
Have you met John Barrowman?
I met John Barrowman. Yeah.
That guy's going to run as fast as you can.
Yeah, but that's one of the fun things, and Greg always talks about, that, when we were kids, that, the $6 Million Man, A Bionic Woman, when those shows would cross over, when you would see, Oscar Golden, go back and forth, it reminded you that there was sort of reality to it, and that, and these spin-offs, they're not existing in different worlds, and things that happen in Starling City affect Central City, and vice versa, and it's really exciting to us.
That's awesome.
It is exciting.
That's totally awesome.
Do you guys have anybody, for the actors in the panel, do you have anybody who's going to be on The Flash that you want to work with?
I want to work with Jesse Martin. I like Jesse Martin.
I want to work with everybody.
Not Robbie Amell?
Oh yeah, and Robbie Amell. I can't believe you say Robbie Amell.
That's great. I want to do a sandwich scene with the both of them, so I'll string both of you up. How's that?
So I have to ask about this because we know, I think in episode 3, Felicity's going to do a visit?
Episode 104 of The Flash, Felicity is going to show up in Central City having...
Okay. So this is where we get into some of the juicy stuff. So Oliver has Laurel, Sarah, now Felicity, Isabel at one point, probably Amanda when they're in Hong Kong.
And Diggle.
Ready. Felicity has Barry and Oliver.
And
These people are very busy. How are you keeping all of these couples straight? And Stephen, who do you think Oliver actually...
No way.
No? Come on.
No.
Let's talk about the guest stars you guys have lined up. Is Starling City big enough for all the people you're bringing in?
yeah, I mean, one of the things we talked about a lot is, season 3, is typically when shows bring on, some game-changing cast members. Greg, when he was doing Everwood, brought on Scott Wolf, and if you're fans of Buffy, that 3rd season when they brought Faith on, it really, it's one of those things that once you get season 3, when you see the cast, like you sort of can't imagine what those first 2 seasons were like without them. So, we were very conscious of making those additions this year, and we, when we actually first sat down with DC, we'd asked if we could bring Ted Cord on, and they had other plans for him. And then they said, well, how about Ray Palmer? And we're like, that's better. And when we originally pitched it, we sort of said that, we want to bring on somebody who's a lighter hero, somebody who's a little bit more fun and, a little bit Superman. And so we got Superman.
Are you guys going to have any fun? Is anyone going to point out that he kind of looks like Superman?
No.
And he's also got his eye on Felicity.
You gotta do the love triangle. You gotta do it.
It's like she's the only flavor in town. She is the best. So now let's talk about Felicity. This has been long in the making. This is a thing. Let's talk about it. What can you tell us about this situation?
Okay, I'm going to tell you something about their date. This is a really big spoiler. They go for Italian.
Sure.
Everyone likes Italian.
They eat dinner.
Seriously,
We've said this before, but they, we weren't trying to fake anybody out with their confessions, or Oliver's confession to her at the end of the year last year. No, we really weren't. And so we'll deal with that directly this year. And their feelings for each other, which I always believe have been genuine.
And Steven, what is it like now? The dynamic has to shift a little bit, right?
Yeah, look, it's not like there hasn't been sexual tension between the two characters. This year they just go out on a date. Yeah. And then we'll see what happens from, I can't say anything, okay?